All right, let's dive in. We're going to talk about how to take two of the most annoying, most draining frustrations at work and actually turn them into huge opportunities for your career. Seriously, let's get to it.
Does this sound familiar? You spend so much energy just trying to manage or maybe just complain about the constant friction with other teams. It's just exhausting, right? And it feels like you're just hitting a brick wall.
And what about this one? That feeling in the pit of your stomach when you know there's a big problem, but the thought of telling your boss without having a perfect solution ready, it's just pure anxiety. You know there's got to be a better way to handle this.
Well, you're right. There is. And it all starts with a huge mindset shift. The first thing you have to realize is that conflict, it isn't actually the enemy. In fact, a lot of the time, it's a sign that your company is pretty healthy.
It's something we call inherent conflict. And all that means is it's the totally natural tension that happens when you have different teams with different goals. And honestly, if that tension wasn't there, you'd probably have a much bigger problem.
Let's make this real. Think about a sales team. Their whole world evolves around moving fast and selling more stuff, like yesterday. But the engineering team, they're focused on building a stable, reliable product, and that takes time and caution. See? Neither team is wrong. Their goals are just naturally pulling in different directions.
So here's the big takeaway. Your goal is not to get rid of conflict. It's to learn how to navigate it, how to use it. The person who can do that, who can harness that tension to create better results, that person builds an incredible reputation as a real leader.
Okay, so how do we do that? Well, that brings us to our first skill. Before you can navigate conflict, you got to understand the people you're in the conflict with. This is all about being proactive and basically unlocking the code to your coworkers.
And look, this doesn't have to be some big formal thing. Just grab a coffee with a colleague from another team. Get genuinely curious. Ask them things like this. Find out what they're aiming for, what they're excited about, and yeah, what keeps them up at night. This is how you build real relationships that can withstand that inevitable friction.
And the payoff for doing this is massive. Two big things happen. First, you build actual trust. So when things go sideways, your first instinct is to assume they have positive intentions. And second, you get what makes them tick, which lets you find common ground and solve problems so much faster. All right, now let's tackle that second frustration, walking into your boss's office with bad news. This second skill is what turns you from someone who just spots problems into someone who solves them. It's about learning to think like a leader. We're going to use a super simple but powerful tool called the 5 whys. So imagine the problem is that a big product launch is getting delayed again and again. Instead of just stating that, we start digging. Question 1, why is it delayed?
Okay, the first answer is usually the most obvious one. The engineers are behind on some technical stuff. Fine, that's the surface, but we're not stopping there. We have to ask again, why were they delayed?
Aha! See? Now we're getting somewhere. This wasn't just a technical problem, it was a communication problem. The engineers built the wrong thing because they misunderstood. But we can go deeper. So, why did they misunderstand?
Okay, we're really peeling back the layers of the onion now. Turns out the two teams just weren't really talking to each other. We are so close to the real issue. Let's just ask that one final why to get to the heart of it. Why weren't they communicating?
And there you have it. The real root cause isn't the engineers are slow, it's a broken process. They don't have a system for regular check-ins. Now that is a problem you can actually solve.
So before you even think about talking to your boss, you put together a game plan like this. You start with a super clear problem statement. You explain the impact, why it matters. You show your work, your 5 whys investigation. And then, the most crucial part, you come with a few potential solutions.
So what happens when you start doing these two things? When you connect with people to navigate conflict, and you dig deep to solve problems at their root? Well, you stop being the person who just complains or points out what's broken. You become the go-to person, the one who figures things out.
It really all boils down to this. This isn't just about making your day-to-day work a little easier. It's about changing the way everyone, especially leadership, sees you. You become known as a solid, reliable, solutions-focused leader.
So I'll leave you with this challenge. Now that you have these two skills in your back pocket, proactive connection and root cause problem solving, what issue, big or small, are you going to go tackle this week?